Hey everybody, Norm over here, and I have my friend Keith Allison in here. And Keith and his cousin Jerry played with the Crickets, with Buddy Holly. And you played with him...
after Buddy was passed.
Right, that was like in the 60s, but you knew
early
Buddy.
60s, yeah, I met Buddy, yeah. And I first met him when they played, when That'll Be the Day came out, so forth. But in the early 60s, I came to California with Ray Peterson. I was his guitar player. And
I remember Ray Peterson, Tell Laura I Love Her,
yeah,
and all that
Corina,
kind of stuff.
Corina, Tell Laura I Love Her,
yeah.
and The Wonder of You. And,
yeah.
And anyway, then Jerry called me and said, we got a gig here, and you want to play guitar with us? I said, I'm in. So
cool.
I knew all the songs. So I played with him for a couple of years until I was picked to be on Where the Action Is, the Dick Clark
That's, that's something, I used to watch that show a lot when I was younger, and it was like you come home from school and there it was, and it was you guys, and it was, Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Before MTV. It was the music show.
Absolutely. Everybody would come home and they'd put on that show at like, what was it, 3 or 4 o'clock after school? Yeah. And that was like a happening, and it was for a number of years.
Half-hour show. We had that show, and then the Raiders, like you said, Paul Revere and the Raiders were on it. So I was a solo act during that period, and then when the show went off the air, and Paul Revere and Mark Lindsay of the Raiders had a Saturday morning show called Happening 68, and so I joined Paul Revere and the Raiders then.
Very cool.
After being a solo, I toured with them everywhere, closed the first half of the show, and then before the intermission and the Raiders, I toured with them from all the action tours and so forth as a solo act.
Tell us about this guitar here. This came to you from Maria Elena, right? Who is Buddy's widow? And
yes, the Buddy Holly Educational Foundation, which is out of Yorkshire, England, have gifted these guitars to a handful of guitar players, and I was lucky enough to be chosen, and each one of them comes with a song title. Mine is I'm Looking for Someone to Love.
And that was the B-side.
The B-side of That'll Be the Day.
Very
Paul
cool.
McCartney's got That'll Be the Day.
Oh, nice.
And when he called me and asked me, the Luther emailed me and asked me, he said, now what do you want as far as what kind of pickup do you want in it, and there's electrical pickup in it and so forth. And what do you want? And I said, I don't know. So I called Waddy, and I said, Waddy.
Waddy's an old friend too.
Waddy Wachtel, and he said, I don't know anything about that stuff. And I said, neither do I. We just play. We're not mechanics, So he said, just tell him to make you the same guitar as Paul McCartney, except right-handed.
There you go. That probably is a good idea.
So I emailed him back. I said, make me the same as McCartney's, but right-handed.
Kind of a copy of a Banner J45.
Yeah, it's a J45. Buddy bought a J45, and I don't know if he played well or right on it or not, or what he cut on it, but he bought a J45. And then people don't know this, but Buddy worked in leather for the fun of it. It was
Did he really? I didn't know that.
So this is an exact copy of the leather cover on Buddy's J45 with Blue Days, Black Nights, and Texas.
Well, I remember back in the day, Elvis had a guitar with a leather cover,
and Ricky Nelson,
and a lot of the real big stars.
And even Waylon on his Telecaster had a black and white leather cover around his Telecaster. But yeah, the big acoustic versions were Elvis's and Ricky Nelson's black and white one.
Nice.
And then so they made up these, and so the detail and everything is exactly the same on every one of them.
Yeah, a lot of beautiful workmanship, and it comes with this letter signed by Maria Elena, and it's for the Buddy Holly Educational Society. And it's cool that his legacy lives on after so many years.
And they donate money for music education for children. And it was started in England. The Crickets and Buddy Holly are still so big in England. Even after they hadn't had hits over here in years, they could still tour England and Germany and so forth. And
well, I know Gary Busey a little bit, and I remember when he was doing the Buddy Holly story, Gary was using like a big headstock strap, which was totally inappropriate for the movie, but back then nobody thought who's looking at a guitar? Who's going to be able to tell? And what was funny is that after the movie, Gary came to me and bought a beautiful '57 Strat.
Yeah, right.
And Gary's kind of a nut. Gary came in here, and one day he was answering the phone at the store, and it was quite an experience. You know,
I played with him during that period.
I can only imagine.
I played with Rick Danko and the Rick Danko
I knew
band.
Rick very well too.
And we did a tour of the West Coast with the Rick Danko band and Paul Butterfield and Gary Busey.
Wow.
And so I would come on first with the band and do about 3 songs, and then on my last song, Paul Butterfield would come on and join me on a harp and harmonies, and then I would back up and just play lead guitar behind him. And there was another guitar player.
Alvin Bishop at the time, or was it?
No, it was. It wasn't Butterfield's band. It was Danko's band.
Oh, okay.
And so it was. I'm gonna kick myself because he's a friend of mine who lives here in the valley. Michael DeTemple.
Oh, I know Michael.
Yeah, you know Michael. He plays the other guitar.
Repairs guitars too, as well as very good player.
That's right. So I played behind Butterfield, and then I played behind Busey came on stage on Butterfield's last song. Played behind them, then I played behind him. Then we went off stage. Then we came back and did band songs.
Well, tell me like what some of the stuff that you're doing now. I mean, you know,
I'm playing in the Waddy Wattel band when we play. We used to play at the joint on every Monday night.
Was my buddy Jason Sine playing there? I know
he has sat in with us a lot of times. Yes, yeah. Jason Sine has, and everybody from Joe Walsh,
Blondie,
Chapman and Bernard Fowler from the Rolling Stones sing with us. And so I'm one of the singers and permanent guest stars. So I don't play the full set. I just come out on and do certain songs, so forth, as does Blondie and as does Bernard.
Cool.
And then everybody in the world, from Neil Young to Joe Walsh to everybody that's around that are friends and so forth, come and do a tune or two, and Billy Gibbons and.
Very nice.
But anyway, 16 years we've had this band together. We've never recorded a thing except the shows live. You know, we have no intention, and we don't play as a rule, we don't play our hits. We play songs that we want to play. You know. Well,
sounds like a lot of fun. I know a lot of people that have checked it out, and everybody seems to dig it. You know. So you guys are able to hold a gig, huh? You know, 16 years.
It's 16 years, yeah. Waddy's on the road with Joe Walsh right now, and so we might play the last week of August. I'm waiting to hear if we can put it together in time, but that's that. But
well, cool. Well, Keith, I really appreciate you bringing this in to show us. I mean, you know, we get a lot of people that watch all this stuff. Texas is cool. In fact, I'll be heading there.
Not fade away.
There you go. The great Keith Allison. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Norm. Appreciate it. I enjoy it.
Thanks
for all your help over the years, by the way.
My pleasure, man. You know, it's always great to see the old friends coming in, and you know, nice to have a little conversation, show you guys, you know, just some of the goings on here at Norm's Rare Guitars.
Peace.
Peace again. Double peace.